Alright, so it's a new week, and we're going to do a new playable video, this time on 2 Fort again, because, well, it's the second one I did. I'm going to go basically reverse order from here on out, and I guess let's just get started. We got 30 things to fix. I got a clean copy of 2 Fort, so let's begin. I like how in these earlier videos I have my HUD on, so you can see, like, I changed the respawn time. Oh, anyways. Texture's not... okay. So the spiral textures aren't aligned here. So initially I sort of thought maybe I couldn't line these two up, but these are overlays. So all we gotta do is just plop that texture there. Now we do get this happening. What can we do to fix that? Well, just come in here and splice it. Now this is more of a workaround fix. It's not like you shouldn't just be splicing everything just to fix them, but just for the name of this, we will. So like that. And we're actually gonna move this down a little bit until we can see kind of the bottom part poking from the top there. Oop, there it is. So I could have actually spliced it over here instead, but I'm going to go like that. So of course there's a visible line here, but if we're trying to get it aligned to right here, that should be okay. And this can be aligned properly as well. This portion, like that. Oh yeah, this one. So this one really annoyed me. This is what it's supposed to look like. I mean, I even put it in here, thankfully. I believe it's only on red too, which makes it even more annoying. But pretty simple fix. We just go make this 128. There we go. It's the correct size. Janky shadow doors. Yeah, so again, pretty easy fix. We just come over to the model here and disable shadows. That's all we gotta do. Visible line in the texturing. Let's check the UV maps on this. Oh, interesting. So this has a Luxel scale of 8, yet this one has a Luxel scale of 16. The UV vectors and everything are the exact same, because there's going to be a line in the texture here. There's not much you can do about that. It's there, you know. But for whatever reason, the Luxel scale over here is at a lower, or a higher res technically, which is very interesting. So then the question becomes, do we make these higher res, which would have to make all of these higher res, or do we make these lower res? And I think the answer is make these lower res. So watching this back made me realize, like, I could have just put an overlay, kind of like you see right here, where that part is, just to cover it up a little. So the lily pad issue, this is just an overlay. So simply just line it up a little better. So like that instead. And the same here. Now it could be an artistic choice to kind of put them on the side like that. I'm not 100% sure on why, but you know, there's also stuff like this where they're just cut off completely. And there we go, you just do that on this other side as well, and those are lined up now. Water cut lines in wall. I can't actually fix this is just a thing with water. Random wood texture. Yeah, this one's not too hard either. Take the sheet and slap it over. Make sure the UV vectors are the exact same. So 1 and -1. There. Sideways HVAC. I've been told that this actually is possible in real life, so maybe I shouldn't have put that in the video, but if it isn't, we could just, I don't know, put it right here. You HVAC people are gonna have to tell me if that's possible or not. Put them sideways. Red wall texture and blue spawn. So we're just gonna grab the texture from the other spawn and just put it over there. Another easy fix. And actually, one thing I spotted coming over here was some Z fighting. My favorite. See which two brushes it are. So it's these guys. Actually, I don't even think this needs to be here, because this is a solid geometry. This is also, they're in line with each other. This straight up doesn't need to be here, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then put the textures back, and there you go. So the whole grate thing is interesting. I don't know how this happened. I guess it must have been something with copying it over, but it's just higher on this side, yet it's lower here. So what I'm going to do on this side is just bring it up a little bit to where it needs to be, and perfect. That also seals these off because they don't extend all the way down. Some leaky lighting. Let's go over to there. Why is this happening? Well, it's because this is a prop right here. This entire side piece is a prop, yet these are all brushes. So that's what's happening there. Now, this is the leaked version of 2 Fort, so it's the original map file. And I believe they have these as brushes. In here we have brush tower, and this was an old viz group that wasn't activated when the map was ran, so we can't see it, and just replace it, and that should be much better for lighting. More floating stuff. These are some quick fixes too. We just simply push it down by 1, and now they're not floating. Oh, the old spider webs, yeah. So it looks like there's one in that little tower area and one right below. So interestingly enough, this is actually a brush that's just not solid. So what we can do is just make the brush a little smaller. Over here, maybe I'll go 4. Stick it up to the side there, and now every part of it is properly connected. We go downstairs, you can do the same for this web. That's connected. And this web's the opposite problem, it's too far in there. So just pull it out by 4. So yeah, so we got this prop that's properly put on this side, but then you go to blue, and it's hanging off, so pretty quick fix too. Just shift it over by 1, and now it's properly there. The sewer wall is fine here, and then it's not on this side. So this is a weird one, because in older versions of the map, this didn't actually occur, so somehow, somewhere, this changed. Looks like the piece that was supposed to be right there somehow shifted over. So we can take this tool and just shift it on back. Make sure our vertices are on grid 2. And there we go, that's back in place where it needs to be. So down here we got repeating texture right here. So I think the best thing to do would just put this wall texture here. Could also go like this texture maybe. It's really up to the person who's making it, as long as it's better than just repeating there. Floating pipes and spawn. This is a classic one, and a classic fix as well. You just push it up, and you do that in whatever spawn needs it. Awesome Z fighting. So these 2 pipes are placed twice. Looks to be just those. Yep. So we'll just delete one of them. Bit of a hole in this entrance here. Let's go take a look at that in the grid here. So here's another easy fix. You just pull the vertices over and boom, fixed. Little time lapse and more no draw. Ooh. So this is actually the skybox clipping in through here and cutting this piece out. I think the simplest thing to do would just be moving this building over, and there we go. This one's pretty funny. I guess you could edit the texture. Maybe let's do that, huh? So anyways, we'll get our sign. So this is sign 69. Go to VTF edit. Excuse me, GCFscape. I'm gonna open up the texture directory and then go to signs and sign 69. This will open up in VTF edit. We can export this. Let's open that in Photoshop. Righty, so here it is. It's only a, I think 256 by 512 texture. For reference here, here's what June is supposed to look like, and here's what it looks like in game. So the first should start all the way on Saturday instead. So right here, because this is Sunday, at least on this one. So we basically just got to shift everything down. So let me do that quick. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. Let's export this. And I can load up VTF edit, load in our picture here, just like that, and we'll export, we'll save as, in that same directory path. Tools button, create a VMT, make sure it's translucent so these parts don't show up as white. Then we can come back to hammer, and we can see the difference now here. So yeah, there's the poster. Some more floating things, and now they're not going to be sticking off the wall. So an ever so slightly floating fence. Can't believe I added this. I wouldn't have added this if I made this today. Yeah, but this one's pretty easy. You just move it down by 1. The other thing you could do is just pull the displacement up. Just like that. Beam going through a window. So a few things we could do. We just delete the beam. Pretty easy one. Or we can move the window down. So let's do that window down one. Let's move this down by 8 units. We'll move the window down by -8, and then move this down by -8. And there we go. We shouldn't have to change anything because there's no area portals or nothing here. Beam's actually doing something now. Wow, that's the end. So let's run it and see how some of these visual changes looks. Again, like last time, I'm only going to be showing stuff that is different from in Hammer. So like this stuff, I'm not going to be showing texture changes or things like this. So first up, these janky Jor shadows are gone. If you remember, these are what they looked like. Kind of came down like that. All right, so looking at these, kind of makes things better, but it is still there because it's just how the texture is. But these have the same light maps at least now. Well, so if we come over here and check, that lighting issues are fixed now. Well, so other than that, everything was basically just a texture switch. That's 2 fort fixed, made to be playable, so